Welcome to Lace 'em Up Podcast. On this podcast, I interview shoe customizers, designers, and artists. On this podcast, you're going to get to know a little bit about the designer behind your favorite customs, the customizer, their customizing style, their business model, how they make it work. People say there's no money in art. Art is a hard business. Every business is a hard business. But what I would say to you is to follow your passion and follow the thing that you love and listen to these interviews and these people and how they're chasing their dreams and putting creative work into the world and sharing their gifts and talents with all of us. Stick and stay with your boy. Let's get into it.
Listen, you want custom shoes, that's gonna take some bucks. Whatever you have for the price, go ahead and raise them up. Better get your spot now for it's taken up. When it's all said and done, my guy, lace them up. Come on, lace them up.
The Lace 'em Up Podcast. I am your host, David Hartman, aka Davidedo Designs. As always, today's guest, okay, you may have seen this man on MTV Sneaker Wars. You may have seen him on his episode on YouTube called Flip My Kicks, or you may have been able to sit in on one of his tutorial step-by-step live streams on YouTube while he's customizing shoes. You may even have heard he is the Bob Ross of shoe customizing. Today's guest is Suheel. Suheel, say what's up to the people. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's good, everybody? How's everybody out there?
Awesome. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about you, your journey, you customizing. You know, I've had the opportunity to kind of tune in and watch you over like the last couple of years and stuff on YouTube and some of the different things that you've done. And also got to watch you on the MTV Sneaker Wars, which was crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a Los Angeles-based artist, born and raised in LA, California. I don't think I'm ever going to leave. You know, I didn't just, I guess, start off in customizing sneakers. I was, prior to this, I was working in finance. I used to work at the bank. It was just, you know, your regular 9-to-5 kind of a job. And then I just kind of grew into transitioning out of that and more into this, which is, I would say, kind of fulfilling, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, because I don't get me wrong, I loved working, you know, where I worked at. It was a blessing to work there as well. But this is something that, you know, you have a passion for doing. It doesn't feel as much like work. You don't have to clock in. And so, yeah, you know, I transitioned from that job into this new kind of career path. You can call it unorthodox career path. And it's been going well for me so far. And, you know, that's where I'm at.
Dope. So, yeah. Let's take a half a step back. So tell me, like, what got you into customizing shoes? Where did that spark come from to say, hey, you know, I'm going to leave this secure job and, you know, go out here on my own and start a business? Like, that's super scary for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I call that the jump off, because it's almost like you're at that ledge and you're like, yo, you know, you've got security, you've got paychecks coming every couple of weeks, you know, so you know there's a consistency. And I don't think that there's necessarily a right time to jump off. But what I would say is that I felt like I was secure and confident enough to get enough orders in every month to say, okay, look, even if I don't break even to what I'm getting paid right now, I could survive for a year, survive for 2 years. So, you know, for my advice for a lot of people who are looking at that tipping point of jumping off is look at yourself financially. Are you secure before you do that? And yeah, that's how I kind of knew, yo, this is probably a good time to go. But if things don't work out the way I expected them to work out, I still can fall back into the job line that I'm comfortable with and I've been doing for over a decade. If that makes sense.
Right.
You know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the segues that you're giving me, though.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because that was good. That was kind of leading into my next question. Starting to talk about business and how to make this a business, and how much your skills or knowledge of finances was able to transfer over into what you do as a shoe customizer, or as a customizer or an artist, period. I mean, you're doing more than shoes. I've seen a couple other things,
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point, man. I was kind of lucky in the fact that, I was a branch manager, so I had to oversee other employees. I had to make sure that the numbers were there every month consistently. My job at that point was to build brand new branches, so they weren't even there, and they were building them from scratch, putting in like $5 million into the building, and then we had to hire staff for it, and I was the staff. You know what I mean? I was the person who was in charge of then hiring the people underneath me to make sure that they do the numbers that we need to do. You know what I mean? And so that's not enough stress. It's in the middle of Manhattan Beach, which is in Southern California, which is one of the most richest areas in all of Southern California, in California in general. So you have to produce the numbers, Needless to say, there's a lot of stress involved with doing that. So I learned a lot from that, because I'm learning how to run a huge business in a matter of months or years. And I got to make sure it's successful, because somebody's overseeing my success. Otherwise, I got to go. You know what I mean? They're going to put somebody in that place to it's an investment for them. And so that's how I learned a lot of things that I've learned. For example, like keeping enough supplies. If you run out of, for example, deglazer. I'm out of deglazer right now. It's like most common thing that I should have, and I just ran out of it. Keeping track of inventory, keeping track of budget. Do you have money for marketing now? You have money for marketing? Dope. Let's put a little bit, like 10% of my money I made towards marketing so I can grow. Those are things that I took from, my previous careers. And I think that a lot of people might be in my position where they have a job and they've got to be organized and in charge of something. There's always some kind of skill that you need to have that will translate into another career path.
Definitely. So there's something in there that you touched on about building the team. So are you running this as a one-man show, or do you have a team? And if you do have a team, how do you go about selecting people that are on your team? Like, I'm in my professional world, right? I'm a supervisor. So trying to build a team is very, very crucial. And I don't think people understand how important that can be, and how much it can impact your business or what you're trying to do, especially, starting off on your own.
Again, if I had to talk about my past career, man, a lot of building that team is just feeling that right energy amongst the people, knowing that the egos can be put aside, and knowing, well, these are your strengths. Let's utilize those. I'm the artist, I shouldn't be here editing and videographing myself. If you saw my old YouTube stuff, bro, it was just me with a tripod, and it was just looking down at my table, and I was just putting in work, and then I was just cutting and chopping things up. Now, if you look at the videos, my camera guy, he's like everything really when it comes to editing, videography, because I had some people transitioning out. So just to answer the question, I do have a team. His work is immaculate. And so now I look back at my stuff and I'm like, yo, this is embarrassing to see my old stuff compared to what we're doing now. But, you see the growth. You see the growth. And the growth is because, it wasn't me saying like, I'm going to pick and choose who's going to be part of this team. It was having a conversation with these people to say, hey, look, I see something bigger than just customizing a pair of shoes for a customer. I see that we can educate people. I see that we can actually influence people to get them out of negative positions in their life. People aren't just like entitled everywhere you go. There's people who are living in lower income communities, but they have the talent to get out of it because of their artistic abilities, and they just need a little bit of guidance. So like, we got so many different avenues here, and just like what you're doing here with this podcast, you're showing people the light of other people's lives and experiences, and then hopefully we can get them into a different and positive direction. So a lot of that's why I call the company FeelGoodThreads. I feel like there's positivity and energy, but even the staff that you delegate to do the things have to have that same mindset.
Nice. So I'm gonna keep catching these alley-oops you keep giving me. Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So you mentioned being able to teach, right? And I know you do a little bit on your live stream, but I know that you have a little bit more stuff. I'll let you get into that as well. As far as the teaching part of it goes, I've heard somebody joke calling you the Bob Ross of
yeah, a couple of times I've gotten that, man.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about where that comes from, as far as the teaching and wanting to share, and also how can people follow you in that vein as well?
Yeah. So, and I keep going back to my old career, but it was just, there's a lot of things that I've taken from it and just kind of developed. Again, my job was to make sure that these people were successful. Like when you hire somebody, you can either micromanage them and really push them to the pavement and they don't enjoy being there, or you can nurture them and show them and coach them, and then they start making more money. That might be the motivator for them. Maybe they're just happy to be in this environment, whatever it is. And then once you get to that point, you feel like this fulfillment. And I think for me, I've always had that kind of fulfillment. I used to tutor back in the day as well, like in school, people who needed help. And so this is just kind of transition. And I like the fact that we can teach now in different ways, like live feed, man, live streams. Like I for a long time, I was scared to do a live stream because dude, I could mess up. I could burn the tag. I could cut my finger. There's so many things that can really happen on live feed. But at the same time, I feel like, hey, if I could teach people here, maybe they want to learn how to do it, but they don't know how to start. Or maybe they have questions and they need an answer, but they don't know where to go. Well, we can do that all in a live stream, So, with that said, I've been doing a lot of YouTube live streams. You can catch me on youtube.com/FeelGoodThreads. I also link that up with Twitch. So if you're a Twitcher, twitch.tv/FeelGoodThreads. Yeah, my girls always saying, are you done twitching? So I'm on Twitch. And then facebook.com/FeelGoodThreads. You can catch me there as well. I know the last couple of streams, I think we disconnected somehow from Facebook. We're trying to reconnect. So if y'all don't see us there, for sure, youtube.com/FeelGoodThreads. You can catch us on live streams. The other thing that I do want to mention, we do like larger projects, just like how you were mentioning to me, how you do things other than shoes. For example, like we do these kind of, oh man, sorry, it's heavy. See, this is like a duffel bag that I was just showing the Patreon guys. We do larger projects on our Patreon channel. They're more complex, but they're also a lot more fun to kind of watch, come together. Yeah. So this is going to be one of the next Patreon tutorials. So if you guys are interested in just expanding past shoes and getting into leather products, I've done a whole leather chair. You can catch us on patreon.com/FeelGoodThreads.
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures of the chair as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that was months of work, man.
So what would you say is your style when it comes to customizing or art? What would you say is your style?
I think I'm a little bit different than other artists in that respect because I like to do a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? Like I've done off-white reconstructions, but then I've also painted portraits. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of two different styles of customizing shoes. But if I had to favor something, I would say I love to do anything that's more like cartoony, more on the 2D scale, stuff that looks kind of not realistic in your hands. I like, I guess you could say, fool the eye almost.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting because I've seen you do like a kind of array of things, but it's always interesting to kind of find out like what people like personally, individually. You know, sometimes I feel like people put themselves in a hole sometimes, and they see, oh, you did this one piece of art, so you did this portrait, great. So now all I want is portraits, and they might not be even what they really enjoy doing. So I think that's interesting to hear. So this next one's going to be a little difficult for you. So
right.
Before we get to it, how many years have you been doing? How many years have you been customizing?
So 2015 is when I was my official jump off, man. So it's been not even 7 years. I mean, 6 years now.
Okay. So you got 6 years worth of catalog to choose from. I need your top 5 customs that you've made.
Oh man,
I told you it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, man. I don't even know. Like I have to go back. See, I'm an old dude now. You know what I mean? It takes my brain a little time to wind up. But just off the bat, I would say the Grateful Dead ones in pink. I got those over here. That would definitely be one of my favorite pairs. Man, you said 5, bro? That's a lot, dude. My carbon fiber Jordan 11s that I did. So I did a pair of black carbon fiber with gum bottoms.
Yeah, I've seen those.
So that would be another pair. My off-white shattered backboards would be another pair. I don't know if you've seen those. They're like a reverse shattered backboard that I put the off-white treatment on them. And I just like that because it was a tribute to Paul Walker. And I love orange. I used to customize cars. My car is still here. It's orange, So
Okay.
for me to do a shattered backboard for sure. My purple 4s, Travis Scott's. So I took some baby blue, the real Travis Scott 4s, and we dyed them and made them a friends and family. So that'll be number 4. And number 5, I'd have to go with those Goyard ones that I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's like a mix of. They're pretty much all my shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the reason why is because I love them. I love to do what I did to them.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, as a person who's been doing this for, you said 6 years strong now, I've seen a couple of, what's the name of your segment? Is it Flip My Kicks?
Oh yeah, Flip My Kicks. Yeah.
Okay. So who would you say is been the most famous person that you've been able to create a pair of customs for?
Oh man, that's a trick question, bro, because I've got a couple of people y'all haven't seen yet. Well, Ronnie 2K was just on. So if we're looking at follower count, I know he's huge. He's got at least 1 million followers. DL Hughley is definitely up there. DL Hughley was the episode prior to that, so I know he's definitely in the millions. Man, Penny Hardaway. I mean, they're all. I don't really look at the count, bro. I just think, oh man, I'm so geeked to have that person on the episode that they're willing to, even just be on to unbox is awesome for me. Just like how you're doing your podcast and it's kind of an outside the box thing. Like for me, this is my outside the box thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, in my eyes, I would say Penny Hardaway. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But that's because I was a huge fan of Penny when he came in rookie season. I had the Penny ones. I still have the Penny ones, and his jersey. I mean, in my eyes, I would say Penny Hardaway.
Okay.
But they're all stars, respectfully.
Yeah, definitely. So what you talking about, Penny, what is the shoe that made you fall in love with shoes, period? Like what is that shoe?
Man, that's I mean, I'd have to go back every time I think about that question because I've been asked that question. The Jordan 11, the Bread Jordan 11, is 100%, yo. I don't even have to think about it. I don't even know why I gave it a thought. But see, back in the day, this was 96, 97. This is how you know I'm old. I was playing basketball in my high school in LA, and all the kids back then. The release was at 12 p.m. So these kids would ditch school, or not even come to school, go to Foot Locker, grab their Jordan 11s, and then they'd be at school at lunchtime with Jordan 11s on. I'm like, bro, how did you even get out of class? But they had, whatever. They had hookups. Long story short, I couldn't afford those kicks back then. So I was even more heated and more salty. But the season went past. They all beat up their Jordan 11s. I ended up buying these 11s off of them for $25, $35 because I found a dude in Melrose who was buying them from me for $300 and shipping them to Japan. And he was reselling them for like $500 or $600. So at the end of the day, I couldn't afford them, but I made enough money to have some new rims on the ride. Like I was doing good, you know, for not being able to afford the Jordan 11s. But that's why I say what really got me in the sneaker game is wanting the Jordan 11, but then the story behind, you know, it happening and me being lucky enough for it to drop, you know, in that little segment of time, and then now owning the Jordan 11 and in fact customizing the 11s, you know, it's like crazy how life works, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I haven't really shared this story. I'm probably not going to share the whole story right now either, but for me it's actually the Bread 11s as well.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, same time, same year. So we're in the same age bracket, to say the least. But I remember begging my parents to get that shoe, you know, and I ended up lucking out. Begged them, and they finally were like, okay, fine, we'll go. And we end up going late, like after 5, after 6, and I end up being able to get a pair at crazy, that point. But yeah. So I was super geeked about those.
Yeah.
A lot of time with the
totally imagine.
Huh?
I said I could only imagine, bro. Sorry. I keep getting this text here.
Definitely.
You know?
I spent a lot of time with the toothbrush trying to make sure those soles were
man, for real, right? You wanted them crispy. But yeah, man, there's something about that Jordan 11 that when Tinker made that in the patent leather and just the whole, it was like a redesign that you've never seen before. Mm-hmm. And so that's what made me fall in love with that shoe. I mean, as a matter of fact, you could have gone to prom wearing the Concords or the 11s or the Space Jams. Nobody would have batted an eye. Yeah. You know, because they were just that like versatile. Yeah. You know. So
definitely I agree. So my next question for you: what person, dead or alive, would you want to do some customs for, and why?
Oh man, that's another good question, dude. Bro, why are you doing this, man? You got me having to think overtime. I thought work was done. You know what? I would say this is just the first person that comes to mind because you said dead or alive. Would be Michael Jackson. Would be Michael Jackson, yeah. Just because when I was younger, that was the only record that I had. My parents bought me Thriller, the album, and you know, just he had the white suit on with the tiger. He was so dope to me back then. And I just really just can say that he was a segue for me to jump into just fashion. You know, just the whole idea of living in Los Angeles is like a melting pot of fashion and music, and sneakers just kind of, you know, just melts right into all that. And he was just so cool to me. And even, you know, till his passing, and, you know, I know there's a bunch of people who say a lot of things about him, but you got to respect the man's music and what he made me feel when I was the age that I was, you know, so he truly resonated with me. So I'm going to go with MJ. Sorry, that was long-winded.
Yeah. So what shoe would you do for him?
I would have to take that album cover art, man. I would try to replicate Mike, like just laced out on the whole thing. Like you'd have to put him to the size like that, and he'd be sprawled all the way through. I think that'd be kind of a cool. But then, you know, you almost couldn't wear them because it'd look awkward after you piece them together. But if they're side to side, man, that'd be a really cool like art piece to display.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? And you know, I wouldn't even hate on the other side doing another album cover. You know what I mean? Like almost like Invincible or something like, you know, one of his newer releases versus one of his older releases, almost like a mashup. And that's just me on the top of my head, yo, you know?
Yeah. No. That's dope. I like that. So, what would you say is now and what's next for you?
Man, I guess I should shout out my Instagram. My Instagram got deleted, man. And we're trying to work out the kinks. We got no communication, dude. Like, I just woke up and it was gone. So I'm crossing my fingers that things will work out. But if you guys haven't already, our new Instagram for right now is at FeelGoodThreads LA. So that's, you know, kind of partly in the back of my head, man. I got to build my Instagram back up. I'm not hoping. I'm hoping for the best. Let's put it that way. But if it doesn't happen, then there's nothing I could do. So I got to help build that back up. I want to jump back on YouTube and do a lot more YouTube tutorials. Right now, I've been doing a lot of live streams. So that takes up a lot of time because I'm literally doing it in front of you. You know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And as you know, just even doing a podcast requires you cutting and editing and adding music and titling. And so editing takes a long time. We've got a bunch of videos, bunch of footage for Patreon right now. So we're trying to edit that stuff and really shout out my Patreon members, man. All the family there, 50 members deep now. I hope you guys are appreciating the videos and learning and making more money. You know, that's the ultimate goal for me there. But yeah, we got a lot of footage for the Patreon stuff. We got to cut, edit, do all that. We've got another couple of Flip My Kicks episodes we haven't even like shot yet, but the shoes are done. So we're like kind of in the midst of finishing off season 1 of Flip My Kicks. And I'll give you guys a hint. The last guest is a female sneakerhead, which I was like, I got to include a female sneakerhead, you know, in the mix. And so I'm really excited for that as well. But, you know, just growing, you know, growing the family, growing more people. I don't have an exact, like, and I bet I should do this. I should have like a 5-year and a 10-year plan and say, you know, I want to get there. But as of now, I'm just kind of enjoying the ride, man, to be honest with you. This COVID stuff for a lot of people was such a tough ordeal, man. For me, I got to bond more with my children. You know, I take them to the park. I don't like stress myself out so much about making money and hustling, because that's what LA will do to you. It's a very fast city. And so, you know, I just kind of learned to slow my roll a little bit and just roll with whatever goes. You know what I mean? Yo, one more thing, bro.
Yep.
Can I drop my website if you guys don't mind?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Man, there's so much stuff we talked about. It's shopfeelgood.com. We sell a bunch of stencils, laces, patterns, all kinds of stuff for you guys to develop and customize.
Yeah, definitely. So we're coming towards the end. I got 2 more questions for you. So I named this podcast the Lace 'em Up Podcast. The reason I did that is because I feel like the shoestrings are the first and last things you touch as a customizer, and finally putting those shoestrings back in and being able to step back and look at your work. It's a feeling that, you know, can't really describe, but you're like, yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, but I got 2 more questions for you. First one is going to be, who do you think should be on the podcast next? And would you be willing to help us get them on here? And then I'll let you answer that one, then we'll jump into the last one.
Dang, you put me on the spot, bro. I got to find somebody to put you on the podcast with now, huh? Well, let me put it this way. I was just, man, I've been talking to a lot of people since the whole situation with the Instagram. So I could look through the DMs and I can definitely find somebody for you, you know? But he's a really, really, really good artist, and I have a lot of respect for this guy. And I was actually on his podcast as well. I'm gonna throw out Wally Champ's name, Wally Champ. And the reason I throw his name out there is, man, that guy is so talented in like multiple facets. His airbrush game is sick. He makes amazing portraits. He was also on MTV Sneaker Wars as well. He had an amazing dad-themed shoe. I won't ruin the whole thing. You guys got to watch that episode, and y'all could see Sneaker Wars, MTV Wild 'N Out Sneaker Wars. But I would say Wally Champ, man. He's a dope LA artist, man, and I respect that.
Dope.
Yep.
So give me, or actually give a new customizer a nugget. Give them a tip. I need one good tip for people who are getting started, new customizers, anybody in that vein. You know, sometimes you get I don't know if you want to call it artist block or designer block, or you're trying to figure out, you know, which way is up or down for your business. Give me one good tip to give to the people.
Man, one good tip. Dude, this got to be like the one general tip, bro. Like, you're like, yo, make them at least 50 grand a year, dog. I would say soak in the knowledge, because there's so much that a customizer can do. I've seen people do glitter customs. I've seen people take flat leather that's just a hide of leather and make it into a shoe. I've seen people paint portraits, airbrush. I mean, you name it. I've seen so many multiple ways that you can make this artwork. And I would say the best way for you to really learn it and develop yourself is to watch people on YouTube, to watch people on Facebook, wherever you can watch them do their work, you know. TikTok's a little difficult. I see a lot of TikTok videos where they're like 15 seconds. I'm like, come on, dog, that's in like 3 weeks, you know? So they're just giving you like little tidbits. I would say, you know, and I'm not throwing my name out there for that reason, but, you know, I do live streams for that exact reason, because now you can see how long does the paint dry before I can drop that stencil on it and it doesn't peel off the paint that I just painted on the shoe, you know? We can sit there and we can chat about it. If you guys have questions, you know, I'm always there and, you know, free to hit you guys back with answers immediately, real time, you know what I mean? And I think that's important for a lot of customizers, that, you know, you can be working with a mesh today, but then tomorrow you're working with suede. And that's not the same process of painting it, you know? So the only way you'd know that is to soak that knowledge in.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You mentioned the lives again on YouTube. After watching one of yours, I was like, oh man, yeah, that's dope. So I did about 3 of them. It was just me in there by myself, but I still did them. I feel like I was talking to the camera by myself, but I did them. It also helped me provide a little bit more content, so I thought that was dope as well. So,
Sorry, what did you do?
A couple of live streams.
You did the live stream yourself. Yeah.
After seeing a couple of yours, I was like, you know, let me just try it, just see. Yeah, it was nerve-wracking, but I can say I did it now.
You know, one thing that my buddy Jay Phillips told me, I had him watch episode 1 of Flip My Kicks. And I said, you know, like, can you give me some critique on what you thought about it? And he said, the one thing that I'll really give you that's a takeaway is that you have completion. And that stuck with me, because he said, look, a lot of people say they're going to do what they're going to do, but they never actually do it and never complete it. So the fact that you completed episode 1 says that at least you have more discipline than most people have in doing whatever they want to do, right? So same thing with the beginning customizer. You could watch me all day long and I'm still going to paint the shoes, but it's not until you try it and come to that realization of completion, and like you say, lace them up and sit back and say, yo, I did that. You know, I feel like that feeling in itself, it's hard for me to even acquire that feeling doing other things.
Yeah. All right, people, there we have it. That's another episode of the Let's More podcast. You got 2 tips for 1 at the end right there. Thank you to your boy Suheel for being on the show. All of his information will be down below. Remember, the Instagram has changed. It's FeelGoodThreads LA. All right, so that will be in the description below. Website, all that stuff. So go and support your boy. Go and cop something from him. If you have not subscribed to this channel, do so. We're gonna be coming back every 2 weeks. More heat, more special guests. We in here. And we out.
Whoa. Listen, it takes wisdom to grab these sneakers and spin them. Cut a couple of linen and match them up with the denim called Davidedo. He'll cook it up like a kilo and have your Air Ones appropriate with the stilo. He's no Lilo, but he's mean with the stitch. Got supreme lean dreams with a season to kick. Feel Heap, how he comes with the gift. And you can call him Skipper, how he got his run of the ship. Listen, you want custom shoes, that's gonna take some bucks. Whatever you have for the price, go ahead and raise them up. Better get your spot now for it's taken up. When it's all said and done, my guy, lace them up. Come on, lace them up. For it's all said and done, my guy, lace them up. Lace them up, for it's all said and done. Let's go, lace them up.